So today we're going to be talking about finding and using slopes of lines. Before we get started, you need to take out your Chapter 3 notes and open to Section 3.4 and take notes as I write here on the screen. To start, let's do our warm-up. So if we need to find the value of each angle, what we need to recognize is that this is a linear pair. And we know that linear pairs equal 180 degrees. So what we need to see is that this angle here and this angle here together create a linear pair. So to set up the equation, we will take 2x plus 5 plus 3x minus 15 equals 180. Now we just have to solve like a normal equation. So 2x and 3x gives me 5x. 5 minus 15 is going to give me a negative 10, set equal to 180. Then when I add 10 to both sides, I get 5x equals 190. So then I divide by 5 so that my value of x is going to be 38. Now, if I look back up here at the question, it says find the value of each angle, so we're not done yet. So what we have to do is plug 38 into each of these equations here. So I'm going to take 2 times 38 plus 5 and 3 times 38 minus 15. And once I work that out, I have an 81 degree angle and a 99 degree angle. Now we're going to move on to slope. This should hopefully be a refresher for you. The slope equation to find a line, the slope equation to find the slope of a line is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We are only going to work out 2 examples just to save us some time here. So if I find line A, which is the blue line here, I need to find 2 points on the line. I see that 6, 4 is on the line, and also 8, 2 is on the line. Now I'm going to label these points and plug them into the slope equation. So I have my x1, y1 and my x2, y2, and now I'm going to plug in. So I'm going to have 2 minus my y1, which is 4, over x2, which is 8, minus my x1, which is 6. 2 minus 4 gives me negative 2. 8 minus 6 gives me a positive 2, and negative 2 over 2 gives me a negative 1. So the slope of line A is negative 1. If we do line D, that is the red line here, I have to find 2 points there, which is 6, 4, and also on the line is 6, 0. Now it's the same process, so I'm going to label my points first, and then I'm going to plug into the equation. So my y2 is 0, minus my y1, which is 4, over my x2, which is 6, minus my x1, which is 6. 0 minus 4 gives me negative 4, and 6 minus 6 gives me 0. Now this one, whenever you have 0 on the bottom, you cannot divide by 0. So the answer to this would be undefined. And any line with an undefined slope should be vertical, so if we look back up at line D here, this is a vertical line, so that slope does match up with the picture. Now moving on to parallel lines. Same idea as what we just did on the last slide. You guys find the slope of these 2 lines. Up here in the corner, I have written the slope formula, and remember slope is always represented by the letter M. So if we find the slope of x1, y1, x2, y2 here of line K, we will get 4 for our answer once I've plugged all my points in here. And notice here that 2 negatives became a positive, and that's how I got a negative 1. Now moving on to W, if we plug this one into the equation, for the slope we will get 4 as well. So what we need to realize is that anytime we have parallel lines, their slopes will be the same. And And finally, our last slide for today, we are also going to talk about another set of lines. If you look here, we have two lines, W and H. We need to find the slope of each of them and then decide what we notice about those two slopes. So go ahead and find the slopes of line W and H. Once you've taken the time to find the slopes, compare your answers here with mine, and notice that the slope of line W is -2/3, and the slope of line H is a +3/2. If you notice, line W has a negative slope and line H has a positive slope, and that the numbers are flipped. This is what you call perpendicular lines. These have slopes that are opposite, reciprocals. These slopes are flipped and negative. Now your homework for tonight is in the book, and it is page 175, numbers 2 through 15. If you get it finished, please turn it into the blue basket on my desk, and I will see you guys later.